Alrighty guys, what is going on? And welcome back here to another live stream for today. We got ourselves some more updates on the table regarding the upcoming weather here. We do have ourselves a few systems we are indeed watching here basically over the next little bit. Once again, hope everyone's doing alright. Glad to have everyone here. Let's go ahead and see who is here for today. Well, first off, we have Eddie. What's up, Eddie? Hope you're doing good. We have Mark. We have Crystal, we have Caden. What's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing all right out there. Like I said, we have ourselves a little bit of updates to a few storm systems we actually are tracking here that could cause some impacts, for the country later on this week. So we're going to need to really be diving down into that. But once again, everybody, hope everyone is doing all right here for today. So we're going to go ahead and start off here just really quickly. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's take a look here at the current radar view. We're going to see exactly what is going on here at the moment. We're going to switch over here to the local or the national radar view here. And regarding to what's going on, so actually there's a lot of high pressure that's in place across the central country. That is actually moving its way out. So that's obviously setting up for the next storm system that's going to possibly happen here in the next few days. So that'll be something to definitely watch out here for. But anyways, across the west, there's a lot of precipitation going on here at the moment. A lot of snow showers for those upper elevations, especially for like the upper portions of California there. For those mountain ranges, they've been seeing a lot of snow. And actually, we were talking a potential of, overall out of the system, maybe up to a few feet of snow could be possible there. Obviously it's snowing towards like northern Utah, towards like Salt Lake City region, southeastern Idaho, portions of western Montana. But other than that, it's relatively dry. A little bit of precipitation across the northeast, as well as pretty much in the south. There's a little bit of activity here just off the coastlines for the most part. Maybe a little bit of showers towards the Tampa region in Florida. But other than that, it is relatively dry across the majority of the country, which is looking pretty good. Definitely looking pretty good here. ECWRC says, hi, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Russell says, hello. What's up, Russell? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. Cool is here as well. Cooley. What's up, Cooley? Hope you're doing good. Rain says it's time to melt some snow. I mean, we actually are going to be seeing a little bit of warmer temperatures across some of the regions here. So we'll be talking about that as well. Let's see. Aiden says, hi, people, or hello, people. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Crystal says, does not feel like 44 degrees. It's cold. Now, here's the thing. It's actually been pretty windy where I'm at across, obviously I'm here in Kentucky. It's actually pretty windy. It's very, very windy here. Across, portions of, obviously a lot of the central country dealing with a little bit of winds and stuff like that. But yeah. So I tell you what, guys, we're going to go ahead and take this over here to the future radar. I do want to discuss some activity that's going on there. So we'll see what's going on here. Let's see here. What's up? How's St. Louis, Missouri area looking? Right now it's clear. It is completely clear here in St. Louis. But let's go and take this over here, guys, to the future. We're going to take a look here at the future radar based off of the NAM 3-kilometer model. Like I said, you can't trust this to be precise. Don't expect what you see here to actually fully 100% play out the way it looks. Because, like I said, models aren't perfect, obviously, but this is just a reference of what things could potentially look like. So, overall, we're going to go and switch over here to, we're going to go up to the latest radar here. So, a bit of precipitation across portions here of the eastern areas of Florida. All that precipitation across portions of the western country. Like I said, a lot for those upper elevations. We're seeing a bit of, we're seeing a bit of snow activity that is ongoing across these regions. But here we go. So, we track our way down here through time. As we move in for tomorrow, kind of around noon tomorrow, around Eastern time, about 11 o'clock Central, we're going to start to possibly get a little bit of freezing rain, towards areas of like western Minnesota, possibly northwestern Iowa, maybe even eastern South Dakota could be possible according to, the NAM 3-kilometer model here. As we track our way down here further into time, obviously for more of the evening hours tomorrow, kind of around 5, 6 o'clock, we're going to be seeing a possibility of a bit of snow for areas of central and northern Minnesota here. Also portions of Wisconsin will be getting this as well, mostly northern Wisconsin. But it does look like there is possibly going to be some impacts, regarding some frozen precipitation or mixture precipitation, like I said, regarding rain and sleet. Could be a possibility. So that's overall something that we should probably look at. Like I said, that's obviously something we should probably, be watching and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and, we're going to turn off that weather radio there. I the more I think about it, I feel like it's more of a nuisance than anything having that having the weather radio up there. But anyways, like I was saying, it's definitely a possibility. That we could see maybe a bit of freezing rain, maybe some sleet mix in, which obviously could theoretically cause some icy conditions here, basically for tomorrow afternoon, from what it looks like. So that's obviously something to watch out for. There's going to be a cold front on this system here. You can see that little line of precipitation. Now, I don't think there's going to be any storms. I don't think there's going to be any storms, anything of concern regarding that, so that's good. But that changes a little bit further down in time here, so that's definitely something we're going to need to watch out for. Let's see, Eddie's here. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Frank says, so far this year we've been very lucky here in Dayton, Ohio. Weather has not been bad at all. That's how it's actually been for a lot of people, believe it or not. It's actually been quite a mild season for a lot of people, regarding, snow and stuff like that. So, honestly, it's just questioning, it's just wondering, what's this month going to look like? Like I was saying, in the original forecast that we put out before winter even started, we were saying how basically the more further we track into, like I said, the further we track into February, obviously the later portions of winter, how there's the possibility that a lot more storm activity could be arising across areas of the south rather than, and the models, some of the models are still actually supporting that. So maybe for late February, things could be shifting up a bit as we are getting closer towards ENSO neutral conditions. Could obviously change the pattern, but overall, like I said, at least here over the next few days, across the central country, really no impacts regarding any winter weather. But that is going to change for later on this week, because there is a few storms we're talking about here. Like I said, this is the first storm that drives across, the upper portions of, Wisconsin, Minnesota. That's kind of the milder portion, the milder storm system we're looking at here in the close range. And like I said, you start to see a lot of moisture being kicked up here towards the end of the NAM 3-kilometer model. So this is for portions of essentially the late 7th, essentially into basically, like I said, obviously the late 7th here into the early 8th. So that's kind of what we are seeing here. So that's kind of a kind of a question. That's going to be the beginning of a new system that we're going to be watching out for. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch on over here. I'm going to switch back to the radar here for one small second while I set up the scene for you guys, because I do want to show you guys what this next storm system could be doing. There's actually about 3 storm systems we're watching. There's a few of them, or there's the last one's, a decent ways out. I wouldn't say any more than, 6 days or so. I mean, like I said, I really don't like looking that far out in the models because, like I said, they're very, very inaccurate the more further you go out. Every single day you go out, the inaccuracy increases, a lot. But anyways, we're going to take a look here over at the NAM model. This is the North American model, just to get a reference of that secondary storm system where we are basically taking off here now. So anyways, moving on over here, guys, if you want to follow along with the date and time, it's in the top right. It goes off of Zulu time, so that's kind of right there. 21Z, 21 Zulu is basically, I'm not going to do the exact conversion, but it's essentially late afternoon, pretty much evening time, essentially. And then right around 04Z, that's midnight Eastern. So just to give a little bit of a reference here. But anyways, yeah, we track our way down here through time. Like I said, first of all, we have this first system that impacts areas of, Minnesota, possibly there for Wisconsin. Kind of the question there. Cold front moves through. Then we start to get another system that starts to develop here right after that little disturbance moves across the north. And this one actually might just fire off a potent enough cold front to drive enough warm air and potentially have enough of an interaction to produce some severe storms, as we are going to be looking at. We'll be doing more of that, diving down into the models here in a little bit. But anyways, we track our way down here through time, obviously for the morning, afternoon hours of the 8th, right there of the 8th. Possibility of some snowfall, areas towards, eastern Kansas cannot be ruled out. It's been popping up here. I wouldn't get your hopes up quite yet because things can still, change a little bit. Like I said, this is the mid-range models. Tracking away down through time, western portions of, Missouri could be seeing a bit of snowfall. Also Minnesota, maybe southeastern side. Also portions of Iowa. This might have some serious impacts on Iowa if this plays out the way that this model is showing us. Same thing for Wisconsin. That's where the model ends. But you see there's a big old cold front. You see that big old leading line of precipitation that's going down right across the southeast. So that's where I'm going to take it down to the southeast here, just to show you guys the conditions that is available. So basically what you're looking at here, this is the overall energy that is in the atmosphere for thunderstorms. And you can actually see here there's enough energy for possibly strong to severe storms to exist across areas of, maybe Mississippi, maybe portions of Louisiana, perhaps even Alabama possibly could be seeing this as well. So overall, there might just be enough energy to allow for thunderstorms and, like I said, perhaps some severe thunderstorms. And that leads us to the Storm Prediction Center, because we do have ourselves a risk, at least for day 3, not for this day per se as of yet. But like I said, there's going to be enough energy, possibly even in eastern Texas, through Louisiana, through Mississippi, through Alabama, to possibly allow for some severe storms to kick off here. So across the lower levels of the atmosphere, obviously regarding the winds, the more further south we go, like I said, this is towards the surface, we have the winds that's essentially moving basically to the northeast here, which, in theory, obviously could create some spin in the atmosphere, obviously maybe producing a few tornadoes. So that's a possibility. We're going to grab just a random sounding south central Mississippi here. Let's go ahead and switch this to the full screen. So here is what this is saying here. So basically what's going on, I'm not expecting you guys to understand all this stuff here, but the dew points here, the moisture supply at the surface is definitely really good. Obviously that is enough moisture, which is needed for thunderstorms and severe storms to fire off. So check 1 out of 4, essentially. That's there. We have a lot of instability from the surface to about, I'd say about 10 kilometers up, which that's pretty... pretty high up there. It's a pretty good distance up there. I'd say probably, what is 10 kilometers? Probably like 30-something thousand feet or something. Anyways, regardless, there's enough energy to support thunderstorms. So check number 2 out of 4 off. The winds are there. We have enough winds to organize these storms here. Like I said, this is basically from a vertical perspective. This is the ground. This is the mid portion of the atmosphere. This is the upper portion of the atmosphere, just to give you all a reference here. But the winds, they kind of remain in the same direction. So, obviously maybe not a big tornado threat is in the works here, but I'd honestly say, there's been a few different, a few soundings I've actually looked at here from a number of models that actually support maybe just, maybe a bit of, weak tornado concerns. Basically here for portions like this one right here. This one supports maybe a little bit more of a greater chance. The winds are kind of more north than northeast at the surface, but then they change to the northeast. So there's a bit of a wind directional change essentially. So there might be the support of maybe a few tornadoes. But like I said, once again, not going to be the biggest concern. Really not a big deal. As of now, that's why I have that tornado threat back on our COD models here. You can see in the bottom right over there. That's why I have tornado threat as of low as of right now. I don't have it as none because we're not confident yet that there will be no tornadoes, but I'm just throwing that out there just to leave it there, just to let you know that there might be some, maybe a few isolated tornadoes, maybe 1 or 2. as of now from what it looks like, but that can definitely change. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But overall, like I said, that's out of the first system that we are seeing here. So now I'm going to take this into the long range here. We're going to go a little bit in the long range here. Actually, for this, I'm going to switch over to this other website I have. So this one actually has, a good view on both the GFS and the European model. So we track our way down here through time. I'm going to go ahead and switch up over here to the precipitation type and rate. So like I said, we track our way down here through time. We get this first system that moves through essentially here for basically early Monday into portions of Tuesday. Cold front kicks off. Not any concern for any severe weather or anything like that. Tracking away down here in time, that cold front actually sparks up another disturbance here. A low pressure system develops across portions of Texas, kicks its way up here to the northeast, as you can see. Possibly some soaking rain for areas of the southern Midwest, eventually tracking up to the northeast, maybe allowing for some snow, perhaps maybe eastern Kansas, maybe even portions here of Iowa through Wisconsin, maybe even Michigan, and portions of the northeast could be seeing that. A lot of cold air looks to be a possibility out of that too. You can see that those blue lines really diving down, possibly showing, those colder air, that colder air moving its way into the country here. But anyways, so then shortly after, there's been, obviously there's been a little bit more support here out of this guy. The one that literally happens as soon as that low pressure system moves through. Another little low pressure system could kick through and maybe even cause some more snow for the northeast, as you can see there. So that's kind of the talks here, over the next few days. Like I said, this is essentially, this goes out to the 11th and 12th, which, like I said, that is the maximum that I'll ever look in the models. Anything further than that, I just don't trust. And like I said, really, even at that point, I'm a little bit skeptical if this will actually be a thing. And the only reason I'm talking about this is the fact that I've seen this on the models for the last few days, in which that is just something to bring to attention. Not saying that's exactly how it's going to play out. And that's actually another reason why I'm looking at the other model here. This is the European model to compare it. So, like I said, first off, we had that first system. Obviously kicks through, cold front moves through. So that's pretty much a certainty at this point. Both the models do support this happening. So at this point, it's basically a yeah, essentially. Anyways, we track our way down here further in time. Low pressure system really starts kicking up across the southern plains of, the southern Midwest region there too. Kicks off a pretty strong cold front. This one does not show any snow for eastern Kansas. Does not really show any snow for areas of, eastern Iowa. Maybe a little bit, but not as much of an impact as what the GFS had to say there. Moving through portions of Wisconsin, perhaps, Michigan and the northeast could see a bit of snow. So that is the similarity between the GFS model. Then shortly after, another low pressure system develops as, what the GFS model was supporting there just directly after that first, after that one system moves through, and possibly could have a few impacts regarding maybe some snow across the northeast. But this model is very mild, compared to what the GFS had to say. So, like I said, at that point, we do not go any further down in time here. That is a secondary system that we might just need to watch in the long range. Just put that on the back burner. Don't really pay attention to it as of yet. But this system right here, this one is, expected to really kick up here for basically the late 7th into the 8th, which, that's just right around the corner. That's just like 2 days out. This one I would be pretty confident on. This one I would trust the most. Because like I said, we're going to have a little disturbance move through areas of, Minnesota here for Monday being tomorrow into basically early Tuesday. Then for portions of like later Tuesday into Wednesday, we're going to have this new low pressure system kick off across, areas of like eastern Texas, towards northwestern Louisiana, towards Arkansas, possibly towards the Tennessee, Ohio Valley region, which might, like I said, it might produce some snow there. But also, like I said, there's a pretty strong cold front, as mentioned before, that might just have enough of the ingredients together to produce maybe some strong to severe storms. That's a possibility. And if I was to put a bet on it, I would say areas, such as Louisiana, Mississippi, and portions of Alabama would have the best potential of seeing those severe storms, that severe storm potential. So, like I said, we'll just need to watch out for it. As of right now, on the Storm Prediction Center, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Storm Prediction Center for you guys. We do have ourselves a marginal risk here for severe weather, which we're going to take a look at here right now. So overall, like I said, I have not updated that yet. But basically here for today, we have a few little thunderstorm threats here across the green shaded colors. That's basically just a few storms, nothing severe, nothing too crazy. So don't worry about that. We move over here to tomorrow being Monday. There's no thunderstorms at all, expected across the country. We're expecting some pretty nice conditions, but look at this. Once we move into Tuesday, we have ourselves a risk for severe storms, possibly towards east portions, basically east central, coastal, eastern portions of Texas. And now we'll take a look at this really quickly. So they said, including a couple of supercells, organized storm structures, including a couple supercells, which, like I said, a supercell defines as a rotating thunderstorm, which, like I said, possibility of some tornadoes. That's why back on my main screen I have the tornado threat as a low, because it's still not a ruled out thing. I mean, it's actually a possibility thing here. But anyways. But basically, they just talk about, a few, mostly a linear line, that cold front, basically just a long line of storms moving through with a few supercells, basically just a few rotating thunderstorms inside of that line that obviously could throw maybe the potential of, perhaps maybe a few tornadoes. Once again, here towards, eastern Texas there. Now, for Wednesday, they do not have any risk out. I'm going to switch on back here to the storm prediction server. They do not actually have any risk out here. This is for Wednesday, the following day after that marginal risk there. They do not have any severe weather risk regarding anything. So as of yet, like I said, they have predictability too low. They don't have potential too low, which, like I said, potential too low essentially means that, like that, you can see right there, potential means that obviously, conditions are not expected to be anything, storm producing, any severe storm producing. But predictability too low means it's too early to say, essentially. But anyways, like I said, the following day before that, there is that little risk there. And as the cold front produces more eastward, obviously that whole environment moves with it. The thunderstorm potential moves with it. So, like I said, that's basically what's going on there. That's essentially, what we are seeing in regard to everything. Let's see here. Scott says hi. What's up, Scott? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here, my friend. Glad to have all of you guys. Let's see here. What's up, my brothers and sisters? What's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here as well. Haley says, it looks like we might get some thunderstorms in Kansas City area. So when it comes to the areas here, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, it's still a unlikely factor that you'll probably see some thunderstorms. Just as of now, let's go ahead and switch over here to this. We'll go ahead and line this up here a bit. Like I said, Kansas City being right here, northwestern Missouri. At the moment, it does not look like thunderstorms are going to be a concern. So do not, like I said, obviously, do not get your mind over that. So basically, don't expect any thunderstorms, across Kansas City right now. But like I said, your main concern is maybe the possibility for a bit of snow. Like I said, with the system moving through, there's a bit of leaning support, between whatever model you look at. Some models say there's going to be some snow, maybe towards eastern Kansas, towards western Missouri. And then there's other models that says no, it's just going to be fully rain until it reaches like northeastern Iowa and towards Wisconsin. So that's kind of the main battle right now between the models is where's the snow going to be? Overall, we have this system here that's locked in. A lot of the models, all the main models that we've been looking at here do support this event. And like I said, I do expect this. I give this about a 95% chance of happening. I'm very, very confident on, honestly, near 100, honestly. Like I said, no real forecaster will say 100%. Obviously, I'd give it about a 95 to 99% chance. Obviously, there is that little uncertainty. But, like I said, overall, all the models do support it, so I'm on board with it. So overall, like I said, that's kind of a thing there. Cold front moves through, like I said, depending on which model you look at. I mean, several models support the environment favorable for possible thunderstorm activity. Maybe some severe storms could be a possible thing. So obviously, we'll watch out for that there across, the southeast here in the next coming days. Once again, like I said, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama kind of seems to be the area that we might be seeing, some of that impacts, going on there. But anyways, that's kind of what we're looking at. That's what we're seeing here as of right now. So let's see. Warm weather is coming. It'll be here on Wednesday. Let's see here. Gregory says, Andrew, what about Willoughby County, Indiana, is located next to Fort Wayne, Indiana? So we're just going to tell you Indiana as a whole. So your main concern, just regardless of where you're at here, essentially in Indiana, your main concern will probably just be some rainfall. I would not expect any, I really wouldn't expect any thunderstorm activity out of, across Indiana there. I really wouldn't expect any winter weather as of now. Unless if that back system develops, if that actually plays out here, which, like I said, I'm a little iffy on that third system there. But if it does, you might be in line. You might just be in line here. But like I said, really the main thing we're looking at now is a little bit of snow towards like Minnesota, towards upper, Wisconsin here for basically tomorrow into Tuesday. And then we have the new system kicking up here for late Tuesday into early Wednesday, driving a bunch of rain for areas of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, towards, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. And then that's where the snow starts to develop here possibly for areas of like, Iowa, maybe portions of, northern and maybe western areas of Missouri, and obviously Wisconsin there, Michigan, maybe the northeast there. We get a little bit of snow popping off out of that and the cooler air. But that's that. That's kind of what we're seeing here, as of right now. And I tell you what, we're going to switch over to the blend of models just to suggest, we're going to talk about these temperatures now, because I know you guys are probably wondering, well, what's going on with all these temps and stuff? So for today, I mean, it's actually warmer than it has been. You guys might have noticed it's a little bit warmer out there today, which is good. Obviously, that's great news. But unfortunately, it definitely looks like those conditions will not last too long, especially for areas of, like the upper Midwest region. Y'all are still seeing those temperatures. I mean, not as cold, but obviously still there. I'll tell you what, we're going to switch over to the forecasts. This is the better way to look at things, the overall forecast here of the temperatures. So for tonight, regarding these temperatures here across the country, the freezing point is located right there on that blue line. So basically right in here, these are the areas above the blue line. Those are the areas that's expected to see the temperatures basically below freezing. So that's the cold areas tonight. Honestly, they're towards, the coastal Gulf of Mexico region. Honestly, really not too bad. Obviously maybe 60s, 50s, could be a thing, but, show-offs down there. But anyways, like I say, here for tomorrow, temperatures, really warm. I'm serious. They're going to be quite warm and really nice tomorrow. Like I said, these are your high temperatures tomorrow overall. I mean, these areas, that I'm highlighting right now, these are the grounds that we potentially could see, 60 degrees and higher, which, like I said, that's gonna be nice, for a lot of people here. Then you got Miami and kind of Sarasota, Tampa region down there in the western side of Florida, looking at 80 degrees, which absolute dogs down there. But anyways, like I said, obviously, yeah, pretty warm here for tomorrow. Kind of looks to be possible. Tomorrow night being obviously Monday night. Temperatures once again pretty cold return. Across a lot of some of these areas. I mean, especially for like the central northern plains region. That's where the temperatures are going to be maybe a little bit more cooler. But overall, I mean, Tennessee, Ohio Valley might be a pretty warm night. Once again here. Especially there towards eastern Texas. Look at that in the 60s, which for a nighttime low, that is really not that bad. That is really, really not that bad. For Tuesday maximum temperatures, really warm southeast again. So we are in a warming trend here in the cold, obviously for Tuesday night. Then we have Wednesday during the daytime, really warm southeast. Got a lot of warm air advection, a lot of warm and humid air pulling up north with that storm system that moves through. So that's why the temperatures are going to be so warm across the southeast. But anyways, that's essentially what's going on there. That's basically the temperature outlook here for the next little bit. We pull over to the Climate Prediction Center here, and you can see all of that red is basically, the forecasters saying that it is going to be above average with temperatures, basically from this week into next week, essentially. So basically, we're going to be seeing here, slightly warmer conditions, across the areas of the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, Midwest region, Southern, Central, Northern Plains, Upper Midwest region is going to be mostly, for the most part, pretty good. Obviously maybe a little bit more warmer, a little cooler across the west, as you can see there in the blue. This is for this week and the next week, so that's something to watch out. Now, just as a glimpse into the future for the following week, once again, looking pretty warm across the east and pretty cold across the west. So there's, kind of an unfair trade here, essentially. I mean, some people would say it's fair, but obviously, for us Eastern, this is pretty nice. This is nice, but for them in the west, they're a little bit more cooler, than normal, essentially. Precipitation-wise, a lot of dry southeast for this week and the next week. Central country, relatively good. Following week after that, pretty above average, amount of rainfall for areas here in the green. Obviously stretching all the way down to the areas of the southeast. Southern plains, northeast there, pretty above average for the most part. Very, very highlighted right there towards western Arizona, southern Nevada, and eastern or southeastern California. So that's that. But once again, like I said, very, very dry, southeast there, Florida, Georgia, South, North Carolina, for the following week is expected to be maybe a little bit more dry than normal. Let's see. Brenda says, hello. What's up, Brenda? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here, my friend. Tornado Clip says spring is trying to start in the south. Hopefully earlier spring this year. I don't like winter. I hear ya. Honestly, I mean, I like a good snow, okay? If it's going to be so daggone cold, it might as well just snow, right? So if it's not, get it out. Obviously, that's the way I think of things. That's my opinion. I think if it's going to be cold, it better snow with it, Obviously, snow can be very nasty too if you have a lot of it. But I'm talking one good snowstorm. Like I said, I just came up from Florida last week, and I've been absolutely struggling to catch up with this climate here. It's been crazy. I've been used to going in like the 60s and 70 daytimes to some days even 80s, into the daytime highs of like 30s and 40s and lows of like the teens. That has been a big thing for me to adapt in. It's been absolutely nuts. Anyways, but there is something I do want to show you guys here. We're going to take a look over at the potential snowfall accumulations out of that first little round that we talked about here. Once again, I'll show you that first little round we're seeing. Basically, the times in the top right if you want to follow along. Like I said, there's a little bit of a disturbance, kicking up across the upper Midwest region for basically, the 6th here, for tomorrow, essentially. So for tomorrow, afternoon, obviously through, basically early Tuesday, essentially, for areas of mostly just Minnesota and Wisconsin, obviously regarding, that potential winter weather there. So that's that. But when it comes to, like I said, accumulations, out of that event, as we were talking about here, between the blend of models and all that fun stuff, which I'm going to look at right now, we're going to isolate this to the northern country, towards the upper Midwest region. Like I said, mostly for, mostly for areas of Minnesota and Wisconsin. That's kind of the most impacted areas out of this. Really not expecting much. Just to be straight up with you guys, probably up to an inch. Really nothing crazy. Definitely, at this point, that's kind of more aggravating snow. When you see low accumulations of like an inch or less, essentially, or 3 inches or less, really, that's kind of an aggravating snow, where it causes impacts, but it's just a nuisance, essentially. It's just crazy. But like I said, across areas here of the northern Midwest region, the northern areas of Minnesota, like I said, really not expecting much. Maybe some localized amounts up to an inch, but once again, I'm really not that, I would say I'm not that impressed, to be honest with you. Wisconsin, maybe seeing the most of it, maybe upper state of Michigan up to an inch, but like I said, just kind of depressing, really just kind of sad. Not really expected to see much of anything out of that, but that's that. We'll take a brief look at what the blended models has to say about another system. Like I said, we have another system to possibly moving through here towards east, or the Panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, maybe Kansas, Nebraska. Like I said, that's a maybe. That's on that. That one system that we're a little concerned about, essentially between the GFS and the European model we were looking at, is basically, two different opinions. One says a lot of snow, one says not. So there's kind of a big debate going on right now. But there's a possibility of a little streak of snow moving up across the Central Plains, Midwest region for, basically mid portions of this week. Could happen. It could happen. We'll keep you in the gist of things here, but like I said, that's that. No huge snows, no big snows is honestly expected to, really happen anytime soon, at least as of what the models are saying now. That could change. But like I said, the main concern I have actually, like I said, is the severe storm potential, possibly across the areas of the South. Like I said, there is enough advected air. There is enough energy in the atmosphere. As you can actually see right there, this is a GFS model. Possibly showing like Louisiana, Mississippi, maybe even Arkansas here, possibly towards, Alabama even, perhaps, just a lot of areas in the southeast, might just have enough energy to throw the possibility of maybe some storms, perhaps maybe severe storms even. It's a possibility. That's kind of what I'm mostly concerned about, I guess. I'm not entirely extremely concerned about it. Even though there is that threat there, but it's just something to watch, Like I said, obviously, areas of eastern Texas, Louisiana. This one does not really show much of Arkansas included. This shows a lot of, Mississippi, Alabama. Like I said, this is basically just thunderstorm energy. This is just the fuel that's required for thunderstorms to happen. But like I said, it's there. We are seeing, enough energy to allow for things to kick off here. It's Rocco says, will Knoxville get any snow? So as of now, I'm going to have to say no. There's nothing on the table for you right now. But if that changes, obviously we'll be going over it if it does. Emily says, hi, what's up? Emily, hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. But like I said, we're just a little questionable about the severe weather potential. If you're wondering the timing of this would likely happen on Wednesday into Thursday. Basically, I'd say afternoon Wednesday, maybe kicking into early Thursday. Kind of what we're looking at there. And then, like I said, there is maybe the possibility maybe, just maybe, in the early looks of things, like I said, obviously maybe there's a possibility of a few isolated tornadoes. That possibly could be a concern. That's why I have that tornado threat down there in the bottom right. That's why I have that set to low, because actually even the Storm Prediction Center talked about this. The official National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center did talk about this, and how there's a maybe enough supporting wind shear to allow for a bit of tornadic activity here. Anyways, let's see. Scott says, I have to drive from Emporia, Kansas to Joplin, Missouri between 9 or 11. Don't care for snow, just cold. All right. Gotcha. Yeah, obviously, if you're traveling and stuff like that, you do not want the snow, because, it could turn sour in a matter of minutes. Like I said, we just did that coverage the other day on that crazy snow, that little snow squall, kicking up across the Northeast. You saw how literally it went from nothing to just straight up whiteout in a matter of just minutes. Literally a minute or so. It's just crazy to look at that. But yeah, snow can definitely be impactful. More specifically, ice. And like I said, when we talk about ice here, there's a possibility that that system that we were looking at might just have the possibility of producing some ice here. Now, this one, yeah, you can see across the northern area here towards like Wisconsin, maybe. This does show maybe a possible concern of some ice, mostly in a snow concern there. Obviously the snow represented in blue and the ice kind of represented in that pink and orangey kind of weird color. However, kind of peach color, I should say. But like I said, obviously, that's kind of showing more of the mixture precipitation. Maybe some snow, maybe some sleet, and some freezing rain, which, like I said, the more the mixture leads to more ice, which ice is a much greater concern than snow, believe it or not. As you guys probably know. But like I said, obviously they're towards, Minnesota, they're towards, Wisconsin, towards the upper state of, Michigan. That's kind of what we're looking at, with this little system. Like I said, this is happening tomorrow. This is happening here tomorrow. Just a little scraper moving through here. Now, between the models, between what these models have to say, essentially, this is the RAP model. This is the rapid refresh, updates every 3 hours, essentially. So this model in particular regarding snowfall, this one shows a little bit more compared to what the blend had to say. Like I said, obviously areas here towards like, northeastern Minnesota, it's still expected about less than an inch essentially. But areas here towards, like the eastern the eastern portions of the upper state of Michigan, perhaps maybe a little more, maybe 1 to 3 inches, could be on the table. Once again, this is one model's opinion. You can't just trust this one specifically. The NAM model, on the other hand, this one's a lot different. This one shows that 1 to 3 inch zone, possibly more west, maybe towards like, north central Wisconsin, maybe even towards portions of, eastern Minnesota, essentially. So that's kind of that, that's obviously maybe a little bit more altered west, according to what the RAP model had to say. So you see, there's still a little bit of disagreement here. There's still these models all over the place here that's saying something else happening than what the other ones had to say. The NAM 3 kilometer model, or the NAM Nest model, this one basically says essentially 1 to 3, right there towards maybe the Duluth region, towards Minnesota. But like I said, once again, most of these areas here remaining less than an inch. There's some areas that could locally get up higher than that, but overall, not that impressed here. The mid-range Canadian model, the RDPS, supports maybe 1 to 3. So honestly, like I said, with the forecast, I'm going to have to go with the possibility of most areas getting less than an inch, with the possible concern that we might just see some areas breaking up to 1 to 3 inches. Now let's go ahead and take a look here over towards the upper Midwest region. We're going to take a look at the snowfall over the next 48 hours. So this one is the official forecast. So if you're going to trust anything, this is what you got to trust mostly. So obviously northeastern Minnesota, we're talking, honestly, maybe 1 to 2 inches, which, like I said, really is not much. Really is not much. It's just, once again, it's enough to cause a nuisance of a problem. Like I said, just a little snow there just to throw a small concern, essentially. Now areas here a little bit more further east, towards like, upper state of Wisconsin, that's a little different. Once again, maybe up to an inch, essentially. Same for the upper state of Michigan. So overall, yeah, I'm not really worried about, heavy impacts. I'd put this at more of a mild impacts of winter weather. Not to mention, these people are used to this type of weather, especially this type of little system that moves through is absolutely nothing to them. But like I said, but that comes to the secondary system that we've been watching here. like I said, across the country. You know, the one that we're a little questionable about, essentially. Like I said, there's a system that is going to be kicking up here. You can see it right there. Maybe driving some snow for portions of the Midwest region, upper Midwest. This one would likely be more impactful if this does play out, essentially. Let's see. Hope Texas get a break for a while, says John. Hopefully. Rain says, well, I have a spring forecast no later than March 10th. I should, yeah, probably by the 1st of March. I should have a spring forecast for you guys. You know, talking about storm probability and all that fun stuff. We'll dive into climatology in that video, but that's still, I mean, we still have all of February to go through. I mean, it's basically barely even, it's not that far into February, essentially. But like I said, you know, the next thing on the table, you guys, the thing we need to be watching out the most for this week in particular, like I said, obviously, there's a little non-tropical cyclone that's expected to develop here, which is really interesting. It's caught my eye here for the last little bit. Y'all can see that there just off the coast of, you know, the eastern coast. That is a non-tropical low, but it's quite interesting because the pressure really, really dives down, which is just pretty crazy there. But like I said, anyways, back on track here. Like I said, we had that little disturbance through kicking up that snow we were just talking about, you know, towards Minnesota. Once again, less than 3 inches for everybody essentially out of that. Little cold front moves through. No storms expected out of that little cold front there. So not worried about that. But like I said, then we get that advection. You know, some warm air starts pulling up here from the Gulf of Mexico. We get a low pressure system developing across, you know, the southern plains, southern Midwest region, and then that tracks up to the northeast. And like I said, this one in particular might just have enough fuel to produce maybe a few strong to severe storms. And like I said, if I was to give you an early indicator of which areas potentially could see some storm activity, I'd have to go with Louisiana, toward maybe southeastern Arkansas, through a lot of Mississippi, and through portions of western Alabama. As of now, that's kind of, you know, there for, you know, essentially further down in time. Basically, I have to say for probably around Thursday, essentially. Yeah, kind of for portions of late Wednesday into Thursday. With that possibility of some storms. Like I said, that's kind of what we're looking at. So, you know, basically central, eastern Louisiana, most of Mississippi, southeastern Arkansas, and portions of central and western Alabama might just be in that area where maybe a few storms could, you know, possibly exist. Maybe a few strong to severe storms. Tornado Clip says, Oklahoma has been pretty safe last year. We did not get much last spring. Only big day we had was on May 4th. Past years haven't had much tornadoes, thankfully. Seems like we're overdue sooner or later. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. You know, we eventually have to break that little drought, don't we? Eventually. It's got to happen. Let's see here. Fairless is here. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Good to be here with y'all. Hope y'all are doing well, says Fairless. Well, you too. Once again, thank you for joining. Hope you're doing all right. Like I said, obviously, you know, with that little system that moves through, according to the GFS, like I said, this is the GFS model. This is the main American model. This one shows the snow kicking up, you know, more of a concern for, you know, specifically Iowa, maybe northwestern Illinois, maybe Wisconsin, and Michigan, essentially. Now, if we take a look at the European model's opinion on this, this one, overall, you're going to notice the same system is still there. So like I said, that's why I'm very confident on this storm system existing. It's basically almost as certain at this point because, you know, the models are very well, they've been talking about this for a few days and, you know, even the major models are saying it. But like I said, we track way down here in time. Now, this one kind of excludes areas of, you know, mostly excludes a lot of like central Iowa. You know, compared to what the GFS had to say, this one really only includes like eastern Iowa maybe. Barely even Illinois included, maybe northwestern, northern areas, through portions of maybe southern Wisconsin and through areas of Michigan, possibly there for like the nighttime hours where it's a little bit more cooler. Obviously, could be possible. Let's see here. No snow in Indiana, says David. Yeah, obviously right now in Indiana, it does not appear that that's going to be likely. You know, the only thing you're going to be dealing with out of this little storm complex here, between what both the models had to say here, is essentially, you know, the possibility of some rain. You know, that's going to be a big thing. Is maybe some soaking rain. I mean, all the way from the southern plains all the way up to portions of the Ohio Valley. You know, that kind of seems quite probable. You know, that does seem to be quite probable here. Now, just as a little bit of something fun to do, we're going to take a look at the GDPS model. This is the long-range Canadian model, essentially. And this one, once again, supports that system. You know, a lot of rain popping up. Like I said, there's a little thunderstorm concern, maybe for the southeast, perhaps some severe storms. I'm gonna say there's a low probability of some tornadoes. The Storm Prediction Center's even talked about this, so that's there. But like I said, as of now, we'll just let that marinate with the models here over the next few days. And as it does, we'll continue to inform you and stuff like that. But anyways, this also kicks up across the north. This one shows some snow as well. They're towards maybe eastern Iowa, portions of Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, even the northeast. We can't forget. On the front system of this, the front of the storm system here, does show that maybe towards New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, they're towards Maine essentially, which is definitely really, really crazy here. But like I said, that is essentially what we're looking at here down in the long range. So that's just something we're going to need to definitely be watching out here for the next few days. Let's see here. Sarah's here. What's up, Sarah? Saying someone gifted me a membership recently when I was not tuned in. Thank you, kind person. I think that had to have been Proxy, which like I said, I don't know if Proxy's been here. Anyways, but like I said, had to have been Proxy. Obviously, Proxy's an absolute legend on the channel. Always, is always supporting the channel. Huge heart she has. Liam's here. What's up, Liam? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here, my friend. But like I said, if there's anything you guys might have any questions on, feel free to ask them down in the chat. Like I said, I'm here for you guys. I'm here to, answer some questions, that you might just have regarding the weather, for a specific area you might want me to look at, stuff like that. Like I said, hey, we're very open with you guys. We're here for you. We got you guys covered. And like I said, no matter, even if there's nothing going on in the country, we're always here for you. We always got you covered with the latest info and all that fun stuff here. But like I said, next big, next system here is going to be really kicking up here for basically, late Tuesday into Wednesday. And then moving up towards the Midwest, Tennessee, Ohio Valley here for basically Thursday. Maybe some snow there for early Thursday across, Iowa essentially, like I said, towards Wisconsin, maybe towards Michigan here, basically for, later Thursday essentially. But that's that. That's kind of what we're seeing here. Crystal wants me to look and see how is Ohio looking. So Ohio, okay, obviously, with this storm system potential, that's moving through, you're probably going to be dealing with a bit of rain as you can see out of this. Mostly for around the 8th, I'd say, kind of the morning through the afternoon, through the evening hours of the 8th, through the 9th even, is possible. So you're going to get nothing more than just rain out of this. There's no snow expected for you. You're expected to be a little bit more warmer. You're on the warm side of the system because, like I said, the way these systems are, which is just amazing how they work. You have a low pressure system, which is the main engine of the storms, and they basically drop a lot of warm air from the Gulf of Mexico in this sense, and obviously bringing down a bit of cold air. So there's an interaction on a line, which is a cold front. That's where the thunderstorms happen because of the warm air and the cold air that's interacting with each other. But that warm air is going to be mostly infiltrated there towards Ohio. So obviously that's going to prevent this, prevent the rain from turning into any, frozen precipitation or any winter precipitation, essentially, because it's just going to be too warm. You're just going to be stuck up in that warm air convection, essentially. You're too high up north for thunderstorms, and obviously, you're too far down south for, winter weather out of that in particular system, which, like I said, then that brings us to the areas of, like, Iowa and Wisconsin, how they, obviously all the warm air is coming up like this, and they're going to be just behind it to where the cold air is going to start wrapping in behind the system there. And that's going to allow that precipitation, all that moisture that's been brought up from the Gulf, to turn into, frozen precipitation, in forms of, like I said, in the form of essentially snow, sleet, freezing rain probability, mostly snow from what it looks like. But that's basically how that works. That's essentially how this is. Anyways, do I know a fast way to get rid of a headache? Take some medicine. That's what I usually do. Yeah, I haven't had a headache in a while. Knock on wood. They suck. Well, hopefully you feel better there soon. Absolutely. But like I said, obviously, once again, everybody, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We're going to be here for you. We're going to make sure you guys are up to date with the latest info and stuff like that. When it comes to the temperatures, obviously, out of this system here, I want to go ahead and mention with y'all. If we take a look over here towards the surface, we're going to take a look at the temperatures here. If we take a look at this, like I said, the system's going to really be kicking off there kind of for Wednesday. You can see right there, you see that sharp line across the southeast. That right there, that is the, like I said, that is that cold front there. That's where the colder air is behind it. You can see how it's a little bit more cooler, around mid-50s, while in front of it's about upper 60s, lower 70s, which is just pretty crazy there. So, like I said, you can really see the influence there. You see how it kind of wraps in? like I said, that's kind of the influence what I was telling you guys about. Is all the warm air pulls up north from the Gulf, and then the cold air starts backing down from the north, which is just really, really cool. Which is really, really cool there. Sewing says, I think spring is here. I just think we're in a heat wave right now. I don't think that winter is over yet, because like I said, obviously towards late February, it could be in favor of maybe some more, maybe some more snowstorms, kind of what I'm thinking. I think that maybe late February could be kind of nasty, due to, the changing conditions and stuff. But that's just something to keep an eye out here for. Giraffe Lady says, hi, folks. What's up? I want storms to just stop. Yeah, I hear you. I do. Let's see. Moonlight says spring starts on March 20th. Yes, it does. Yeah, definitely. I'm actually ready for spring. I mean, like I said, I want one good snow, but it looks like, nothing's really happening for me. Like I said, I'm here in Kentucky. I actually just came up from Florida, hanging out with family and friends for 3 months. I was down there. Back here in Kentucky towards Louisville. Is there anything I see coming for 27106? It concerns me when we get warmer weather this time of the year. So absolutely. So you said for 27106, 27106. This is across areas of North Carolina. Okay, got you covered. This is actually right here towards Greensboro region. So, all right. So you, my friend, we're going to take this more, the regional view here towards you. Like I said, you're right here towards, like I said, right there in North Carolina. Essentially in the, the south, central, southwestern area, you're kind of right around in here, essentially. But anyways, regardless of anything, like I said, with that system that moves through, there's a weak cold front that's probably going to be decaying as it moves over you. So I don't think there's going to be any thunderstorm concerns, or at least anything crazy. What I do think, though, like I said, obviously those temperatures are probably going to warm up for you. Yeah, absolutely. You can see those temperatures are going to be warming up here quite a bit for you, especially basically here for what it looks like on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, maybe in, afternoon, probably around 4 o'clock or so, Thursday. It's probably going to be looking pretty warm there. Warmer than usual, probably there into the upper 50s, lower 60s from what, the GFS has to support here, due to all that warm air ushing up north, with that storm system that's moving through. But overall, that's not that bad. But then you see the back end come through, bringing all that cold air behind it. Like I said, that's basically that. Let's see here. I got a question saying, what are you serious? Central Missouri, already started budding in trees. Interesting. I wonder where that's at. Well, you said here in, you said Missouri, right? I don't know. I still think it's a little too early for that. Have you seen the budding on trees yet? I think it's just a little too early for that. But anyways, like I said, my friends, that's essentially what we're looking at. That's basically what we're paying attention to here, over the next little bit. Once again, if there's anything that we can do for you, please let me know. Like I said, we'll be here for you guys. We'll make sure that y'all are staying up to date, with the latest weather and stuff like that. But like I said, once again, thank you all so much for joining us. You guys absolutely rock. Let's see here. Dat says, I'm in central Missouri. Seems like we have a lot of people here from Missouri. Definitely does. We seem like we do have a lot of people from Missouri here. Let's see here. Around Buffalo, New York, snow seems to stop around March 15th. I would be surprised if we saw temperatures we had the last couple of days anymore. Interesting. Yeah, so I remember getting very cold there towards New York just a few nights ago. It got down very cold. We had those wind chills like in the negative 60s across like the northern areas. Absolutely crazy. Now, I'm going to say, yeah, you're probably right about that, but it would not be impossible if it did happen again. Like I said, later on down this month, I tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to take this over to the climate models really quickly, just to show you guys what things are looking like here, at least in the latest gist of climate models here. This is going by week, week by week here. So obviously here, for this week, basically until February 12th, most of all, precipitation-wise, it's going to be relatively, mostly aiming there towards like the southern plains, with more above average precipitation. Maybe go towards, the southern plains, maybe the Midwest region with that storm system we're talking about. Like I said, obviously that's kind of the main thing. The climate models are picking up on that little storm system that's going to be basically starting all across the southern plains and tracking up northeast, essentially. For the following week after that, it actually alters, the precipitation to be kind of normal, honestly. Really not that much different than normal, except for the west maybe being a little bit more drier than normal, according to this model here. Then obviously, the following week after that. So like I said, this is basically for, the mid-later portion of February, and it picks up a lot on more precipitation, possibly there towards the southeast. Obviously there towards Tennessee, Ohio Valley, mid-Atlantic, northeast region here. You can see maybe showing, just maybe just a bit. Maybe just a bit of, more activity with storms. Week after that, kind of back to normal conditions and so on and so forth. Like I said, I really don't like to take those too far, but it's just an idea there. It's just kind of an idea there of what we're looking at. Temperature-wise, though, like I said, we were just talking about the temperatures. Mostly warm, a lot warmer than normal here across, a lot of the central eastern country, even northwestern areas. A little bit more warmer than normal there in the red. A little bit more cooler across the southwest there in the blues. For the week following, a little bit more cool actually across the southern plains, the southern country really just in general, essentially, which is what we're looking at for. The northern areas here, obviously for like the upper part of the country, maybe a little bit more warmer for, like I said, not this week, but the next week and the week after that. Then we move into, later portions. It does show a big cool down potential kind of for like the late portion of February into early March. But like I said, that's really taking it far down in time, and which, like I said, I really don't trust that far out. But I mean, we go and we look at that. I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing there. It's a possibility. Let's see here. I have see buildings and some blooming bushes budding in North Carolina. Interesting. Yeah, daffodils. That's right. Can handle cold. Yeah. Sewing wants me to take a look here at 74631. Absolutely. So you want me to take a look here. So you said 74631, 74631, across portions of Oklahoma. Right over here, basically towards Ponca City, basically directly north center. Okay. So essentially for you, when it comes to, the new stuff and everything like that, okay, I had a sneeze coming. It decided I want to go away. I hate that. Anyways, but for you, here in the the immediate range, essentially, the close range, essentially, mostly quiet. I mean, it shows a little cold front moving through. Like I said, that little disturbance that's moving through. Obviously, possibly could show maybe a little bit of rain on it. I don't think any thunderstorms will be a concern out of this though. That moves through. And then we have some advection happening. A lot of that, you see all that precipitation starting to move north, essentially once that little weak boundary moves through. So with that being said, essentially, you are like right in the middle of, you're right there on the edge of a lot of activity out of this. So I'm going to say, it's going to be possible to see some rain here essentially for like the, through the 7th and maybe to the 8th. As this new system tries to develop here. We actually take this into the mid-range models here. This mid-range model supports snow, but you've seen that the short-range one does not. So I would not get your hopes up for that. But anyways, like I said, that does track its way northeast. Pretty strong cold front, you can see right there across the southeast. Like I said, that throws the possibility of some, maybe some severe storms. Possibility, maybe throwing a bit of severe weather. Could theoretically be possible there. So that's that. That's kind of what we're seeing there. Maybe some strong to severe thunderstorm activity happening for, later on this week, essentially. I'd say probably here for like, Thursday, probably Wednesday into Thursday. In regard to thunderstorm potential. Like, so they do actually have ourselves a, risk across eastern Texas here. Let's see here. Got ourselves another question coming in from Fairless saying 62650. Curious of what we get here. So 62650, 62650. This is in Jacksonville, Illinois. So, or right here towards Springfield, essentially. So this is basically western Illinois. So, okay. So you, my friend, you're in a very tough area to forecast right now. So essentially, like I said, we switch a look here for your location here. So obviously you're in western Illinois. So we have this first little disturbance moving through, obviously avoiding any snow for you. A little cold front moves through, maybe a little bit of rain, but nothing really more. I would not be, too concerned on it. But then you have that system. Like I said, that's the new one this is the one we need to really watch out for. It has you right there on the rain line, according to this model in particular. There's a few models that support some snow for areas of Illinois. kind of unlike what this model has to say. So that has the central low kind of pivoted right over you, essentially. So that would mostly be in the form of rain. But essentially, there's a few models that might support that. It's a little too early to discuss, but you are right on that difficult boundary between, is it going to be rain? Is it going to be snow? Honestly, there's a big unknown here. And that's where we take this more into depth as much as we can, towards your location here, towards, Illinois, by each model. Like I said, we take a look here over at the GFS here. And I mean, this model here specifically shows, maybe a bit of snow there. I mean, you can see the GFS there showing that main low pressure system tracking directly over you in the form of rain, but then that cold air kicks behind and maybe could end in a bit of snow. That's what this model has to say. European, on the other hand, this model's still, loading, but the one before that suggests, I mean, kind of the same thing even, so it could go more in the form of mix according to this, according to the European model there. But I mean, overall, I mean, both the major models does show the possibility of some winter weather here. This would be in the terms of essentially Thursday, for the most part, basically portions of like, mid to late Thursday, essentially. So it's not impossible, but it's kind of unknown right now. There's still a lot of questions about this. Anyways, let's see here. Kara says, Andrew, do I think it's safe to put awnings back up for 29053? I was worried about ice in mid-late February. Okay. So 29053. 29053. Okay, this is across portions. Okay, so this is in South Carolina. So, honestly, yeah, here's the thing. So, as we were looking, back on the climatology models and, what the models have been trending over the last while, essentially. I'm talking like the last weeks, months. What I personally believe is that, towards the areas here, towards South Carolina, essentially, I think that we're going to probably get another little burst of more storm activity towards the south, maybe for late February. That's kind of unknown if it's going to be winter related or storm related, because it does show a lot of more precipitation being expected across those areas. I'm going to have to go with you're probably going to be okay, but just for safe bets, I would keep them out a little bit longer. At least wait till mid-February. And after that, if anything does not really happen, or if there's nothing on the forecast by mid-February, I'm talking like, the Ides of mid-February, talking like the 15th, essentially. Then that's when we need to, rethink the situation here. So, Cara, right now, if I was you, I would leave them where they're at right now until then, okay? That's me, though. I mean, you can do what you want. Haley says, it's okay if you check on 64060 Kansas City for me, Andrew. I know that you checked on Kansas City area just a while ago. So, yeah, I mean, so for those areas towards you, we switch on back here towards, obviously they're in Missouri. Now, Missouri's kind of in an interesting state here right now. Like I said, they're towards Kansas City, which Kansas City's right there. So with the GFS model move, showing through, there's a possibility of a little bit of winter precipitation on the western side of Kansas City. But for the most part, it remains mostly just rain. When it comes to the European model here, like I said, the latest info, with that little possibility of, some winter weather here. This is for like the 10th, essentially, which is, like I said, this is still very, very, like I said, this is still essentially very, very far out there, essentially. Which, like I said, this is for the 10th. I mean, that's about 5 days, but I really don't like trusting the models that far out. Or these models, anyways. Now, like I said, obviously, there's probably going to be a few rounds of precipitation. It's looking more likely in the favor of rain rather than winter precipitation, essentially. So I think you'll be okay. Well, I know you'll be okay, but obviously, as of now, it's a little too early to look at. Yeah, your main concern is possibly some rain here for like the 8th, but barely getting scraped according to that. Let's see. Flareless says, thank you, no problem. Let's see. Kara says, okay, thank you, Andrew. I will wait and keep tuned in on your updates. All right, sounds good. Like I said, yeah, just let me know mid-February once it comes around. Remind me, because like I said, there's a lot of people I have to look out for. But remind me, and I will we'll do what we're doing right now. We'll go back over it essentially. But like I said, I really wouldn't say you're quite in the clear yet. I mean, February is still a pretty active winter month, essentially. I mean, we're literally in the beginning of February, so things can still change. You know, things can still get cold again. Yes, I mean, we're still in pretty much mid-late winter right now. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Giraffe Lady says, Andrew, just want to say I appreciate you. You're my favorite weather guy. Wonderful personality. Let's see here. Wonderful personality, and good of you to check zip codes for us. I'm sure everyone agrees. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much there, Giraffe Lady. Greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Kara with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much there, Kara. Greatly appreciated. Saying thank you for all your hard work and keeping us up to date. Well, you're very welcome, Kara, and thank you seriously for helping us out. Greatly appreciate it. Like I said, honestly, guys, I really enjoy doing this with y'all. I mean, I love hanging out with you guys. Just chatting about it. Even if there's really nothing going on, I love hanging out with you guys, chatting about it. And just know, if there's any part of the stream, if you have a question, like I said, let us know. I mean, seriously, if there is an area you want me to look at right now, we'll look at it for you. I'm serious. That's what we've been doing. And like I said, if there's a zip code you're a little questionable about with the weather coming up, let me know. Like I said, we're here for you. But once again, Kara, thank you so much for that. That's super nice of you. Big double thumbs up for you. Thank you, seriously. Let's see here. Xavier says, traveling to New York tomorrow, coming from Austin, Texas. Is there anything going over there to New York? So you said you're traveling to New York tomorrow from Austin, Texas. So I guess I would assume you're flying. You better be flying, because that's a long road trip. I took a road trip from Florida to Kentucky. That sucks. But that's even longer. So for you, anything going over there in New York? So it depends on, are you going to New York City or New York State? Anyways, so for New York State, essentially, obviously this is for portions. New York City is obviously, down here. But there is for New York State. So we are in a little bit of a question, a little bit of in a question area here towards New York. So we track our way down in time. There's obviously that storm system that's probably going to be moving through here. This is for Thursday, kind of around Thursday, maybe late Wednesday, early Thursday. According to GFS, now, like I said, we cannot take a look here. You said Manhattan, so you're basically towards New York City. Okay, so essentially, even towards New York City, I mean, there's a possibility it looks mostly in the form of rain, according to GFS, which is good. Like I said, it would be a lot different if you're towards, central New York State, essentially. But for New York City region, you're looking mostly like rain here, according to GFS. The European model, on their agreement with, or on their opinion on this system that's moving through, also keeps it in the rain. So I think you're good. You're probably going to see some rain, yes. I mean, obviously, probably for Thursday, you're probably going to see some rain. But anything, winter-wise, as of now, seems very unlikely. So I think you'll be all right. I really do. Let's see. I wonder if we're going to get blasted with snow late February through March. That's kind of the big question here. I mean, like I said, there are some models. We take a look here back at some of those, the climate models. Just getting an idea, what the future could bring us here. Obviously we'll take a look, the anomaly here essentially. So this is for, we'll actually take a look here, actually probably 1 month at a time here. So let's actually take a look here, monthly total. There we go. So this is showing us essentially, well, this does not really go out that far. Essentially, this actually goes up as early as March for some reason. Okay, let's take a look here back at weekly, essentially. So this is going week by week, essentially. So obviously, like I said, as we track away down here towards later February, as you can see right there, late February, you can see right there, February 26th, that's basically, not a specific day, but more of a, a week around February 26th. So this is basically just later, essentially just later February, essentially. You notice how there's a lot of green across the South and a lot portions of the Midwest here. Like I said, that green is representing more above average precipitation than normal, typically. Basically from the years, I believe, of 1980 to 2010, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the range, based off of the average data collected from 1980 to 2010. I'm pretty sure that's what they mean by the average. And this is showing above average. This is showing more above average, in terms of more storm activity, maybe more precipitation. But like I said, the question is that going to be in the form of thunderstorms across the South or more of winter weather across some of these areas? And that obviously brings you to the question here, what is it going to look like? So climate models, we're actually going to, like I said, we've been watching this here over the last little bit. I mean, we dropped down another, another few different runs. I mean, this is several several different models. This is several models ago. This is actually going into yesterday, and you can see for late February how it continues to show more precipitation than normal across the south and towards the mid-Atlantic, Northeast, Ohio, Tennessee Valley. So, like I said, it looks probable. It looks very probable that in the later portion of February could be more storm active for the southeast and the areas of the East Coast. Now, when it comes to the temperatures, on the other hand, for later portions of February, according to the climate models, kind of supporting maybe slightly above average temperatures, which obviously, I mean, that does not throw out any snow potential. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, if you have a low pressure system dipping far enough south, that could drive enough cold air to kick off some winter weather across the south. But like I said, slightly more above average, and that might even be pointing towards maybe some stormy, like I said, maybe towards, stormy conditions, possibly like thunderstorms. Kind of seems to be possible. And it looks like here, I mean, even in the mid-range of things, with this upcoming system, it looks like storms across the southeast is becoming more likely, essentially, over the next several weeks. So that's kind of my input on that. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. So overall, we'll just we'll have to continue watching this here. I mean, we need to watch this like a hawk for the next several weeks. Because like I said, we're going in that transition period from essentially going from winter into spring, and that's a big transition period. So it starts off as, like I said, a lot of snow, all that mess, and then it moves into the thunderstorm category. So that's the crazy part, about the years. If you think about it, you have the beginning portion of the year where snow is a big concern. Then kind of the second quarter, I guess, kind of the late first quarter, second quarter, there's the thunderstorm potential. And then we move into summertime. Thunderstorms still a thing, but also hurricanes start to become more of a concern, especially for fall. And then it repeats back to snow. So snow, thunderstorms, more thunderstorms, hurricanes, essentially. So it's kind of like this big endless cycle of severe weather essentially going on. I mean, in the realms of nasty weather, I should say. There's always something nasty going on with Mother Nature. It's always doing something crazy. But anyways, that's that. Let's see here. But once again, like I said, if you guys have any questions, I mean, feel free to let us know, guys. We're going to be here for you. Like I said, we got you guys covered. I mean, like I said, once these events happen, whenever there is, whenever there is a event that is going to be happening here, whether, like I said, during the time of the event, we do live streams as well on the actual coverage. So say, for example, thunderstorms somewhere. We usually cover them. If they're severe enough, we usually do cover them. And like I said, speaking of severe storms, we actually do have ourselves a newly issued marginal risk here. Like I said, obviously marginal risk is nothing crazy. It's no outbreak or anything like that. Nothing, no big concerns. But it's obviously thrown out a potential of maybe a few isolated severe storms. Could be existent. Maybe we could see some severe thunderstorms, maybe across areas of eastern Texas. Perhaps here for Tuesday. That's kind of what that is showing us. So we might need coverage Tuesday. We'll see how things go. Like I said, obviously Tuesday is the day whenever that system we were looking at there. Back over here to the major models. Speaking of, look at that. That is here's essentially the temperature anomalies here, and you can see a lot of the red right now. Let's say right starting here. There's a lot of red across the south. That's obviously showing a lot more above average temperatures here. Then later on down towards mid-February it kind of changes. But like I said, I really don't like taking a look that far. But anyways, like I was saying here. When it comes to that storm system that we were watching here, across the areas, like I said, it really kicks off there for Tuesday, essentially, as you can see there. We'll actually take a look at more of a localized area here. We'll switch over to the southern plains, towards like Texas and all that fun stuff. And you can see, if we switch over to that right now, how we get a lot of that precipitation really kicking up there for basically late Tuesday into Wednesday. So you see there's Tuesday, showing right there. Then it turns into Wednesday, and all that rain continues, essentially. So, like I said, obviously this is a Tuesday and a Wednesday concern, and it actually shows that cold front actually becoming a little bit more mature, a little bit more well-defined here. Here's the NAM 12-kilometer model. This one's a more higher resolution one. And you can see how there's a bit of a cold front associated with that. Like I said, we actually looked at the models and stuff like that earlier in this live stream, and we were looking at the probability of severe weather. And like I said, I mean, it looks pretty decent. I mean, there is a chance. There really is a chance. This week, this week, we could see some thunderstorm activity. Like I said, obviously Tuesday, Wednesday for the south looks possible. It definitely looks possible here. Let's see here. Hype has a question asking, is there any snow going to be coming towards Philadelphia? Okay, so if we take a look over here towards the region, we're going to drive over to the GFS just first to look at. Switch over here towards Pennsylvania. Obviously, they're towards, Philadelphia. They're far in the south, southeastern side. As of now, like I said, we do have that storm system that's going to be moving through, but it does not appear that any winter weather is going to be a thing over the next week, essentially. ECMWF, the European model, kind of supports the same thing there. Essentially, that little band of rain moving through. This is, once again, this will be probably here for late Wednesday through Thursday, but not in the form of any snow. So I hate to ruin your, if you love snow, I hate to ruin the chances of that there. But it does not appear likely. It appears more likely in the form of rain rather than snow. So I think that I rather think that you're going to be dealing with maybe some rain rather than any snow activity. But anyways, that's that there for you. And once again, I mean, it's like I said, if there's anybody out there who's watching this right now who wants to take a look at a specific location, like I said, I mean, here, let me know. We'll be here for you guys. I'll make sure to keep you all updated, and we'll make sure to keep you guys, up to date with the latest weather gist and everything like that. Like I said, the weather is, right now at the moment, the weather is pretty boring at the moment. It's a little boring, but that's going to quickly change here. Like I said, for Tuesday into Wednesday, we have quite the system that's probably on the horizon here. Let's see, I give up on seeing any big snowstorms this year. Otherwise, is hype. Honestly, I mean, it's. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. Like I said, there is a possibility. There's another little system that could kick off behind the big system we're watching. There's been talks about it for the last few model runs. I have not really wanted to talk about this too much. I mean, because I'm not really confident on it. But it might show some snow moving towards Pennsylvania, essentially. But like I said, I would not really consider that, really a favorable or a really possible outcome quite yet. I really would not go that far of saying that. But anyways, let's see here. Kara says, spring is on the way. I'm so ready for warm weather. Honestly, yeah, me too. Like I said, well, once again, like I was saying, if it's gonna be cold, it might as well snow, huh? Like I said, especially for where I'm at here. Like I said, I literally just drove up. Like I said, the people just now joining us, I literally just drove up from Florida to Kentucky. Because like I said, I live in Kentucky. I grew up in Virginia, live in Kentucky. A little bit of a background on me. And I went down to Florida for 3 months. And I was there from November 6th all the way until recent, late January. I came back here last week. It is an absolute climate shock to me. Going from temperatures, once again, from like the 70s during the daytime to 40s at max during the day here. It's just crazy. And that's what I'm saying. If it's going to be cold, I would like to see a good snow. I would love to see a good snow before the year ends. That's what I'm hoping on, obviously. That's kind of what I hope to see. But, obviously I can't control it. A lot of people, it's kind of funny because there's a lot of people on here on the live stream that actually think that I can control the weather. I'm not even going to lie with you guys. There's been a few people that actually thinks, like, can you make it snow for this area? There's people actually, like, thinking I could control the weather, which if I could, that would actually be pretty cool. But unfortunately, I do not have that opinion, and or that I don't have that option. And if I did, I mean, I would definitely steer bad weather away from people. If I did, that would be pretty cool. But anyways, guys, well, yeah, I mean, we've been live here a little over an hour. We talked about majority of most of what we are expecting here. So if there's any last requests from you guys, if there's essentially anything you want me to look at, an example like if you want me to, look here, a specific location or something like that, let me know. Or if there's a certain product you want me to look at, like the models, whatever. Now's the last chance, guys, because like I said, we've been live here for a little over an hour and 15 minutes. So I think we got a good chunk of information out there for you guys, obviously regarding on what we can expect. And then obviously, at any time you can rewind the live stream here and you can look back at, other things we were talking about. Like I said, we talked literally about everything here across the country, from the severe storms to the snow, the breakdown and stuff like that. So like I said, once again, if there's anything that you want me to look at, let me know. We'll be here for you. Let's see here. Tornado Clip says January has been really above average in tornadoes this year so far. Interesting. We did have a few weather events in January. I remember that, but I was unable to do that because I was in Florida. I was not really able to stream a lot of those events, unfortunately. But now, if there's an event, I can stay up for as long as I want, essentially. Let's see here. Kara says, thank you, Andrew. You do an awesome job. Much appreciation. No problem. Absolutely, Kara. Well, thank you so much once again for supporting the channel. Thank you for the donation. Greatly appreciate it. Definitely means a lot to us. It really helps us out. Like I said, obviously this is my full-time job. I really love doing this. I love helping people out. I love doing whatever I can do, and anything anything helps. Like I said, honestly, greatly appreciate it. Seriously, thank you for helping me out. Thank you for helping the channel out. With all these programs and stuff like that. Seriously. It definitely means a lot to me. Definitely. Thank you so much. Time to Kill says, have a great Andrew and all. Okay, have a great day to you too. Have a great Andrew. Time to Kill. I don't know. You must have forgot great day or something like that. But you as well there, Time to Kill. Let's see here. Remarkably Average Jane says, don't forget to like and be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Great job, Andrew. Thank you. No problem. Krista says, you're amazing, Andrew. Love your lives. Well, thank you, guys. Seriously, it means a lot to me. It really does. So tomorrow's plan, let's see. Tomorrow is Monday. So I'm probably going to do a members-only live stream tomorrow. Since it's Members Monday, like I said, Member Mondays, we do live streams. I don't know, because I'm kind of mixed on that. Because, like I said, obviously Member Mondays. I'm probably going to do 2 streams tomorrow. I'll do a members-only live stream probably early, and then I'll do a normal live stream probably late, probably 8 o'clock. Is that good with you guys? 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern? I think that'll work out pretty good. If we do it like 8 o'clock Eastern time, that way I can, do my members-only probably early or late noon, early evening, essentially. So that I can, give a special thanks to our, members and stuff like that. Time to Kill says evening. I'm just kidding with you. But yeah, you as well. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining us. But all right, my friends. Well, once again, thank every single one of y'all for joining us. Like I said, the next thing on the table we're going to be watching out for is the possibility for severe storms on Wednesday. With that little system moving through, maybe some snow, Midwest, upper Midwest region. We'll keep you all in the gist. We'll keep you guys updated with all that stuff. The more I think about it, I was thinking maybe tomorrow I can do a video for everybody, and I can do a live stream for the members forecast. I think that's probably what we're going to do. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our members-only forecast later at night, and then we're going to do a video midday tomorrow. So be expecting a video here for y'all regarding updates and stuff like that. But other than that, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. Once again, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. You guys absolutely rock. Huge shout out goes to you. Once again, big thanks goes to Kara today for the donation. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much there. Greatly appreciated. You absolutely rock. And like I said, we'll keep you all updated tomorrow. Like I said, expect a video tomorrow for the members. We'll be live for you guys probably around 8 o'clock, maybe 7, 8 o'clock or so. So I'll be on the lookout for that. All right, my friends. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the ending screen since there does not seem to be any more questions here for tonight. Stream's going to head off here in 2 minutes, so if you have anything to say to your friends and family who might just be in the chat, like I said, feel free to do that right now. Say your final goodbyes, and we'll see you guys here in the next one. Let's see. Hype says, have a great rest of your evening, Andrew, and everyone. You as well, Hype. Once again, thank you so much for, very, very kind words and everything like that, and it goes to all of you guys out there. So, all right, my friends. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for tonight. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your Sunday. I hope your weekend was great. Have a great day at work, school, whatever you do tomorrow here on Monday. So stay safe out there. But all right. Well, once again, everybody, thank you all so much, and we will catch you all here in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See you tomorrow.
At 16 knots. Here is a look at the weather features that will affect the region over the next several days. A weak cold front approaches the area late tonight into Monday morning with high pressure returning Monday afternoon. Dry conditions will continue Tuesday into Wednesday with well above average temperatures. A stronger front will bring the next notable chance of rain during the latter half of the work week. Now for the official National Weather Service forecast for the Washington metro area and the surrounding KHB listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy until midnight, then clearing. Lows in the mid-30s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming west 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight. Monday, sunny. Highs in the lower 50s. Northwest winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Monday night, mostly clear. Lows in the upper 20s. North winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tuesday, partly sunny. Highs in the lower 50s. South winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 40s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of rain. Highs in the lower 60s. Thursday, mostly cloudy. A 50% chance of rain. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the mid-40s. Friday, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the upper 30s. Saturday, mostly cloudy. A chance of rain showers. Highs in the upper 40s. Lows around 30. Chance of rain 40%. Sunday, mostly clear. Highs in the upper 40s. Lows in the lower 30s. This hazardous weather outlook is for the Maryland portion of the Chesapeake Bay.